Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Well, my previous video I said that I would be talking a bit about a photo assignment that I had. Actually, it was on a couple days ago, and it was regarding this big BS bill, and that taking away people's health care, Medicaid funding, and also funding for hospitals who service lower socioeconomic areas, of which we have here in Chicago, in the Chicago area. So I was assigned to photograph a press conference by our congressman in this area, Danny Davis, at West Suburban Hospital, which is over in Oak Park, but it's right on the border of Chicago and serves the Austin community, which is to the east of Oak Park, lower socioeconomic area. And it gets federal funding to be able to do this. And they are going to try to pull, and one of the things in this bill is to pull funding like that and also take Medicaid away from poor people who have no other means of getting health care. You know, Donald Trump, remember, he famously said, "I don't care about you, I only care about your vote." That says it all, folks. Donald Trump only cares about himself. Anyway, as I said, and when I edit images for the paper, I frequently will see an image and go, that's the one that's going to be the headline image for the story, and potentially be on the front page of the print edition. Now, normally I would be able to show you the print edition. There is an online version of the printed newspaper. Unfortunately, there was a glitch and it's not up yet, so I can't show that. But I will link to the story down in the description. And also, here is the image. And I have a bunch of images that are similar to this, but this is the one that I thought they would use because Congressman Davis is on fire. And so I was correct. So, and about the equipment I use, Lumix G9, my go-to camera for all things that I do PJ related and otherwise, PJ photojournalism, and the 14-140 Super Zoom, which I use very frequently when I have an assignment that's outside. It means that I don't have to change lenses a lot unless I need to go to ultra wide, and that might occasionally happen. But, you know, nobody who reads the paper or sees the online version of the story is going to, you know, look at that emergency sign in the background and think, well, that would be a whole lot softer on full frame. Yeah, it just doesn't happen. I'll finish this up in saying, again, when I touch on politics, photographers touching on politics is really nothing new, folks. So I'm old enough to remember Ronald Reagan. I wasn't a young adult then. And Ronald Reagan appointed this guy named James G. Watt, not to be confused with the Scottish guy a long time ago for which the Watt is named after. And James G. Watt was an ultra-conservative, and he was appointed as Secretary of the Interior. And he wanted to sell off public lands. Now, who was involved in the charge against that, the opposition? Ansel Adams. Ansel Adams, who spent his life doing landscape photography in the West on public lands, was totally outspoken about how bad this was going to be. And he famously said, and I'm pretty sure this is not an original quote to him, but he said, "These are people who know the price of everything and the value of nothing." And I think that says it all about these folks, people. Nothing's changed. These people have been at it for as long as I have been around trying to do stuff like this. Decades. So there are other examples of photographers getting involved. That might be a subject for an entirely different video. I won't get into it here, but I can think of a few. That's it for now. I'm Todd Banner. I will see you next time.